Hello children. In today's class, I am going to deal with lesson 2, Children at Work, part 3. Before I explain you part 3, I will summarize part 1 and part 2. Now, part 1 summary. Velu was an 11-year-old boy who got off the train at Chennai Central Station. His legs were unsteady as if he was still standing in a moving train. It was because of his tiredness, weakness, and fear. The crowds and the way the people looked upon him made him miserable. He sat on a bench on the platform with a small bundle beside him. He was very hungry. For 2 days he had eaten nothing but some peanuts and a piece of jaggery. Suddenly he heard a rough voice calling him. He saw a girl around his age. She was wearing a very long banyan. Velu stared at her. Then she asked his name. She guessed rightly that Velu had run away from home. She told him that he won't get food sitting there. The girl was a rag picker. She picked her sack and moved away. Velu thought she was his only hope, so he followed her. Now, part 2 summary. In the second part, Velu reached the girl. It took some time for them to cross the road, as the traffic was heavy. They walked for a long time. The girl pointed out to the one building with the wall around it. Velu read the Tamil sign on it. It was Central Jail. The girl laughed. She told him to be careful if he wanted not to be inside the jail. Velu said that he hadn't done anything wrong. The girl said that it didn't matter. The important thing was he should not be caught. After about an hour's walk, they stopped in front of a big building. The sign on the building read Sri Rajarajeshwari Prasanna Kalyana Mandapam. Velu read it as it was in Tamil, like the sign on the central jail. Velu looked at the huge hall and the people inside. He asked the girl if they were going to eat there. The girl showed him the reality. Then she led him to a garbage bin behind the hall. The girl picked up a crushed banana and offered it to Velu to eat. Velu was shocked. He asked if they were going to eat the leftovers. The girl disagreed. She said that she ate only untouched food. She threw him a vada. Velu looked at it with distaste. However, he was too hungry to refuse any food, so he ate the banana as well as the vada. The girl could find only one more banana which she ate herself. Jaya told Velu that he could wait till people inside completed their lunch. If he is too hungry, he could wait. But she had to go to work. Velu followed her since he had nowhere else to go. So he began running after her and asked her name, which she told. The girl's name was Jaya. Velu asked the girl whether he can come with her. She accepted, saying if he is willing, he can come along with her. So this is part 2, children. Now let us move on to part 3. There is a row of huts near some dirty puddles. Outside one of the huts, Jaya dumps her sack. Grateful to his friend, Velu thinks of the days ahead. Jaya and Velu walked along the roads for half an hour until they came to a bridge across a dirty trickle of water. Here trickle means a small stream. We are in Triplicane now. See, that's Buckingham's Canal, said Jaya. So here Triplicane it is also known as Tiruvallikeni, and it is one of the oldest neighborhoods of Chennai, that is in India. Jaya and Velu walked for half an hour till they came to a bridge across a dirty stream of water. Jaya told Velu that they came to the Triplicane neighborhood and she showed him Buckingham Canal. Velu stared. This was a canal? Near some puddles of water was a row of the strangest huts he had ever seen. They were built out of all sorts of things: metal sheets, tires, bricks, wood, and plastic. They stood crookedly and looked as if they would fall any moment. Here, puddles refers to a small pool of rainwater on the ground, and crookedly is at an irregular or improper angle. So they are not properly arranged, or they're not in proper way. Is this where you live? These houses are strange, said Velu. In our village, the houses are made of mud and palm leaves. Jaya went around to one of the huts and dumped her sack outside. Then she picked up an empty one. Here, Velu looked at the canal continuously and asked Jaya if it was really a canal. Near the muddy pools of water, there was a row of strangest huts which he had ever seen. They were made of things like metal sheets, tires, bricks, woods, and plastic. They were not straight and were made crookedly, means that is at an irregular angle, which are not properly built and may fall at any minute. Velu asked Jaya if he lived in that strange hut. He said that in his village the houses are made of mud and palm leaves. Jaya went inside of those strange hut. She kept her filled sack outside and took an empty sack and was ready for the work. Let's go. She turned to Velu and gave him a shove. Shove means push someone roughly. At least help me now. Here, wear these and come with me. She threw him a pair of old shoes without laces and pushed a sack and a stick into his hand. You can see the picture, children. Velu was confused. What work did she want him to do with these things? The only work he had ever done was on the landowner's farm, weeding and taking cows out to graze. Are there any farms in the city? He asked Jaya. So Jaya told Velu that they will make a move, and she turned to Velu and gave him a push and asked him to help her. She gave him a pair of used shoes without laces and asked him to wear. Finally, she gave him a sack and stick. Velu was confused what type of work he had to do. Velu did only one type of work, and he knew only one type of work, that was on a farm owned by a landowner. He did weeding and took the cows for grazing. He inquired Jaya whether there are any farms in the city. She laughed and thumped her stick on the ground. Thump means to beat. Farms? There are no farmers here. We are rag pickers. Rag pickers? See my sack, full of things I collected. Collected? From where? Asked Velu. From rubbish bins. Where else? You collect rubbish? Velu had never heard of such a thing. A blockhead. So a blockhead means fool. It's not any rubbish, only papers, plastic, glass, such things. We sell it to Jam Bazaar, Jagu. Velu was puzzled. He had heard of people throwing away rubbish. But why would anyone want to buy rubbish? Who's Jam Bazaar Jagu? Why? Why is he buying all this? So here puzzled means confused. Velu was confused. Okay. So Jaya laughed at the words of Velu and stroked her stick on the ground and told him that there were no farmers and all they did was rag picking. She showed him things that she collected from rubbish bins. Jaya corrected Velu, saying that she collected only papers, plastic, glass, and other such things, and they sell them to Jan Bazaar Jagu. Velu was confused that people throw rubbish and why anyone wants to buy rubbish. He wanted to know why Jam Bazaar Jagu buys all these things. You think he buys it for show? He sells it to a factory. Come on, I don't have time to waste like you. Velu did not move. He hadn't run away and come to this new place to dig through garbage bins. Jaya poked at him with her stick. Look here, she shouted. If someone gets there before us, we don't get anything. Don't just stand there posing big hero. So posing is pretending. I'm trying to help you. Who filled your stomach today? Velu scratched his head and sighed. I will do it for now, he thought, until I find a better job. So, Jaya, she clarified that Jagu doesn't buy it for showcasing it, but instead he sells all these things to a factory. She told him that she is not having enough time to waste like him. Velu was still and thought that had he come here to dig and search garbage bins? She was poked by a stick, and Jaya told him that they should go there before anyone else. Otherwise, they would not get anything. So what they would not get, that is the plastic or the things which they are going to collect from the garbage. She even told him that she is trying to help him and reminds him that she filled his stomach that day. Velu made up his mind and thought that he will do it till he gets a better job. Right, children? So now, what does this lesson teaches us? Yes, this story or this particular lesson of Velu and Jaya, it teaches us to show concern on these children, and we need to help them whatever we can. Is this lesson clear, children? I hope you all have understood. Thank you.